That's a listen.
Okay, well, I got a job.
Yeah, let me know and I will log in now.
Right, we're going to ourselves. Yeah.
All right, city council, work study session, Monday, September 11th, 2023, 6 p.m. We'll go through our committee reports. Infrastructure, ground, streets, and sidewalk. Councilman Bill, was he not going to be able to make it tonight?
He said he's
No.
not. No, he's probably.
Let me cover that. Yes, if you would, please. All right, so what, I talked to, actually, prior to bringing this forward, but there's been an issue at Wallace Park and parking for, I want to say decades. And, there's really not been a solution found, so we came up with a solution, to increase the parking. Right now, there's 58 parking spots at Wallace Park. And we can do a split addition to the parking on the north and south side and roughly anywhere from 35 to 40 spots on each section. The north parking lot is something that we can do within the budget. It should be minimum. We're gonna a pipe that we're going to be putting in, filling in just a area over the pipe and adding gravel. The rest of it will be all manpower. And it should fit within our budget. The south side will be what we plan on doing in the spring. That's going to be a little more extensive, require a little more fill, which we already have. We have pipe already at the bed that we can use to divert water. And the question is, are we going to have that for buses that park there for tournaments, or if we're going to extend that for more parking? That's it in a nutshell. I'm sure there's questions, but I didn't do a very good job. Any questions on Wallace Park? What the plans are? I have a question concerning safety. Keeping the traffic away from the people walking on the walking track and things like that. So there'll be a table on the north side parking. There will be a small easement of grass that has cables that will be keeping the cars off the walking trail. We are looking at grants that we're hoping to apply for within the next 60 days to hopefully pave that walking path. But for safety, we have a gate that's going up, a fence, and then we'll have divide the parking from the walking path. The paving would be nice.
on the other side of it. So we get out there and my wife and I, we walk our dog and serve other people walk dogs around. That rather may be messy, but it's not near as hot. We walk an animal on asphalt. It's not, the safety concerns to keep them in traffic and people apart. And also the easement to the buffer and waiting work. There are some kids out there that I think come out when I got to force. Seems to me not efficient, something that they can go through without having to bounce around the table, or something like that, something access to easy access.
But the cable is basically to divide the parking lot from the walking path, so that there's no cars that can protrude on the walking path. The area as far as it should be an ease to get to it. There's the Katy Trail system where the two levers, we're looking at the two solid rails. We haven't made a kind of decision on that, but we're looking at a way that public can access that with ease, that's not going to allow a car vehicle to get in.
I think temporarily, we're looking at setting those concrete barriers up to where you can walk through the barriers with a car or a four-wheeler couldn't be able to do them.
On the spot right now where the road comes down and intersects the walking trail, it's got cable. I have a suggestion that they put a piece of pipe, concrete, approximately 3 foot from it, with another piece of pipe and concrete, which would allow a 3 foot opening for somebody to walk through and string the cable the rest of the way.
So that's exactly what Mr. Spencer was talking about. Katy Trail gates, they'll allow you to walk through it, but it'll be fixed. I think temporarily we were talking about putting concrete barriers there just so the cars can get through it. I mean, we have the barriers right now that we can set to set the post and set a system up like that. We would have to build it and plan it out and do it. We're really hoping to apply for a grant to help us improve that walking path all the way around. It may not be asphalt, it may be some sort of mulch or some sort of walking path material. You know, that's something similar that the Corps, or not the Corps, but the Missouri Department of Conservation does on their trails. Something like that.
There's other grants that we're looking into too, because we already have one grant in the Department of Conservation. Charles just got a list of maybe 30 different grants, and he's going through them now. And I even have Angela working on a grant as well.
Any other questions on Wallace Park? All right. And the riverfront.
Riverfront is the lower riverfront wall. That has been a major concern for Councilmember Bell. We are tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I have an appointment with a person that's going to give us an estimate of and measurings of the different holes and erosion and that kind of stuff. The Corps of Engineer would like some more details, and we're this person is going to give us the breakdown of the materials that would be used. He's not an engineer, they're not requiring us to have an engineer drawing, which is nice, but they would like to know the materials and the makeup of the concrete that's going to be used in order to repair that. All those little breakage, and when they're standing on top of the big wall looking down, it doesn't look that big. When you bring out a tape measure and start measuring how deep it is and how wide it is, it's a lot bigger. You start putting a big number to it.
So just to remind council and the public, we do have a Department of Conservation grant that's looking to improve the riverfront property, but not the lower wall, what we just described.
Correct.
Years ago, when it was, they had farms on it down there. what started this problem in North Park? Well, we're dealing, we're trying to go down the steps and there's that ring down there. Is that what started the problem with this down there?
Yeah, yes. So the barge caused the damage and the barge back when that happened, the company paid approximately $50,000 for damages. And the way I understand it, and I may be wrong on this, but the way I understand it is that, that's what that money was for, but it may not been
Got
utilized in the system line of kids. Any other, issues, infrastructure, ground, street, sidewalk? From council or the public?
We took a little walk under the bridge under Georgia and North Carolina the other day. Like, hey, we were looking at that whole stuff. The holes on the South Carolina wall, on the west side of the South Carolina wall. Under the bridge, it's got some pretty deep holes in it.
So that's concrete or brick?
It's the stone that's been worn out underneath the drainage hole. I think I put the drill.
This is from South Carolina.
That's from South Carolina, both Georgia and South Carolina on the bridge there at the branch are both looking pretty rough.
Thank you. This is South Carolina.
That's South Carolina. Look at them, they're gonna feel, yeah, all over.
We, and that's probably a big project, under Georgia Street. It's a,
Yeah, both of them have small issues, but that one just looks newer and kind of pushing out weird.
But we'll take a look at that, because if we can isolate that to any type of flooding or storm damage, it might be enough for them to go through SEMA or FEMA for some funding. If not, we'll have to watch plans and take it there.
I'll be on this week.
Anything else? All right, I'm hearing none. Public safety, the police hiring committee. Councilman Gordon.
Yes, we've had 2 candidates for the academy that we've interviewed and they look really good. So hopefully we can get them through the academy. And then we have one that is already a police officer that's ready to come in and work part-time. So we're working on getting more police officers here in town. Josh, did you have anything else?
There's an information in each one of your packets about updating our firearms. We would need the council's approval to do that, meaning is how it's over $500. It's you know, we have Gen 2 Glock 40 calibers and looking at upgrading to 9mm and things like that. Which we do have a bunch of 9mm ammo anyway, a very limited amount of 40 caliber ammo, so we don't have any additional purchase of that. Got bids. The cheapest one came back with DG Firearms and Bowling Green. And they're offering us $300 for each one of our older guns, where everybody else only wanted to offer us $50. And we can make more than $50 off of them. So
All we would have to pay is the $1,112.
right,
We get 4 new guns,
5.
5 new guns. But it doesn't sound really like that.
No.
Okay.
I think that's what
So what we'll do is, we'll adjust the agenda for special council and add that under the line item, actions needed from work session.
I'm sorry. Is it 5 or is it 7? Because you got offering us $300 per gun for a trade in of 2,100. That would be 7 guns.
That's our 7 older guns.
That's what I'm gonna give you $2,100 for.
Right.
So you're trading in 7.
Trading in 7 and getting a 5.
Okay.
But basically trying to minimize the amount of money the
Yeah,
city's out.
When you said 5, I was looking at it going, I don't know. Yeah. these 5 million.
So, Councilman Gordon will bring us up under, recommendation for action under the.
Yeah.
We also have, Gordon Anderson, he's one of our, applicants for the academy. If the council has any questions for, Mr. Anderson, now's an opportunity. If the council has any questions, otherwise we can kick him loose. Instead of waiting for the special council meeting.
You know, tell us something about yourself.
Can you come up here and just kind of give us a little bit of a.
So my name's Jordan Anderson, I'm 32 years old. Been here since about 6th grade. I was born in Pittsfield, Illinois. Don't hold it against me. Lived in Bowling Green until about my 6th grade year. I moved down here. Been around law enforcement for since about 2010. I was a dispatcher actually here. Transferred up to Pike County, where I worked my way up to TAC or dispatch supervisor. I was part of the process of switching from dispatching out of the sheriff's office to 911. And from there, I left and I'm here.
And you've been to the academy or you want to go?
I would be going.
You're going to the
Yes,
academy.
Any other questions, council? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you.
Also, Dalen Green is our, appointment that we want to fill a part-time spot. And, with council's approval, when we go in special session, we can, take action on that. We'll have to wait for special session. So if you want to, you can stay or you can go, it's wherever you want to do. I just want to free you up this. Councilman Gordon, is there anything else on the police?
Who was the other one on the set? The other one we were wanting to send was a.
That was Charlie Smith, and she couldn't make it tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah, I agree on that.
She's currently working in code enforcement for the city.
All right. Anything else for public safety and police hiring committee?
Nope, that's it.
All right, ordinance, committee.
We're having several ordinances for the next city, the next council meeting. Cassidy had worked on the downward ordinance, so it should be finalized and ready to go. For votes, yeah, and then, looks like Billy has been working on the code, traffic codes, for local division. Billy, you got anything on that?
300s, there wasn't a lot of stuff a lot of things that was changed, a few fees that we wanted to raise, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot.
And then we're doing the marijuana, working on the marijuana one, state law compliance, but right now I'm looking at Vandalia and Herman's and some, another, trying to find a closer one, but there's not a lot of them out there right now, since it's between.
Do you have a rough draft? Maybe had a rough draft for the one for Louisiana.
For marijuana,
Yes.
the one, the only one we had in the our packet, you don't have a rough draft yet, you want it? Do you have one? That's one for one. Yeah, it's one. Only one. Yeah, I have one in there.
Is that something like city committee will have something maybe raised by regular council?
Yeah. Yeah,
All three of them ready to drop three.
sounds like Billy's ready to go for first read, aren't you?
Yeah, ours should be fine.
So the question I have for Councilman Price on this is, do you know if this addresses the tow fee? Or the impound release fee, is that in the language?
That is currently not in there.
Is that something that we should include in that?
That is something that I think could fall under the purview of that particular section for sure. I wasn't sure what the release fee would be. We'd have to talk that out and we could certainly add that in there.
we can kind of talk about, I know historically, we've been talking about $50 release fee, but it's the council's pleasure as far as. So we contracted out with what's that? River City, them down the vehicles and stuff, and so in order for them to release it, they would have to have a release from the city of Louisiana. And obtain that, the owner of the vehicle would have to acquire that through our collectors or police department to receive that fee. If everything is complying with the allowed it to be released. And then only then would they be able to go down to River City and get their vehicle back after paying the fees and stuff. Historically, we've always whenever we impound a vehicle, the city always incurred the cost of impounding the vehicle as far as tow fees. And then we would charge storage fees. And then we would non-payment after so many days, we would auction off the property. And it's become a hassle, you know, and we changed that, you know, about 6 months ago.
And Josh, is that gonna be available after working hours at City Hall?
Yes, so the way I think it's written into the contract is that if, say, City Hall is closed, they would pay the tow fee to Krieger's, and he will then get that to us. You know, I mean, he's still gonna want us to say, yes, it's okay to be released or whatever, but I mean.
But they'll be able to get, as long as John's going to be okay with the. So they're not gonna, you will be around to give the information to John?
Right.
Or is that still gonna be between 8 and 4:30 thing?
No, that's all the time. Whenever, because we have somebody out all the time, so
Yeah.
whenever they want to do it.
So the first contact should probably be with the police department
Yeah.
to get it released. Yeah, so. Anything else for ordinance? Yeah. Economic development and tourism. Councilman Baker, you have inherently, gotten this, position. Did I? Yes, sir. I apologize for not giving you any more notice. So, but this would be the time, I believe, for, the tourism commission. I know we got a special, we do have a special agenda item under special council, but any discussions after we bring it up now before we take any action in special council meeting, so. Yeah,
Do you want to drop?
yeah, that'd be fine.
I was going to the long meeting that they basically did. Those were redone about when QR codes on them, so they go to the tourism website. So that doesn't, that part, those, all we have is for the Metzger buildings, which I didn't know about that, and I don't know if you know about them, but we have a large collection of them. Does everybody know what they are? I could do that first. So what happened is people would build brick buildings, the square brick buildings, and then these men called the Metzger brothers decided that they could fancy them up, and they started making metal that they could attach and then paint. The oldest Primos building is good when you'll see on the top, it looks like it might be brickwork or stonework, but it's really metal. And so there is a whole website on it. People travel all over to see them. I had no idea what they were, so someone told me. So we do have a brochure on that. We have, a brochure, we have, two historic districts. We have a pretty, national historic district, Third Street and Georgia Street, and those are actually, wow. So, those are the things that we're highlighted, but there's a lot of other things that, I'm from the Chicago area, at least 34 years of my life. And like niece went to the zoo, and we also have, people going through to like the Ozarks, and they don't go through St. Louis, they come through us. So when I've been back, since living here, talking to people, they're like, hey, oh, Louisiana, Missouri, I drive through there. And I'm like, oh, you can see all of our, historic towns, because they just got this before. So what we're trying to do is get people to make that turn and come down Third Street and across Georgia, because that's where almost all of our businesses, but I'm one of those, and go on out. So we've done a couple of things. We started investigating. We didn't want to just go willy-nilly and spend this money, because right now our average, the last 2 quarters is about $2,173.50. Quarterly, I read has bed and breakfast, hotel collects an additional payments. The transient tax, the motel tax, and that is put into an account. And by statute, that can only be spent to promote the city. So the funds built up here, but we don't want to just go crazy and go, So we've been investigating Taylor Johnson, the family on Casey's restaurant, and Lee Sandler is on the other side. She's new to town and they are opening their own shop here. And then we also have Jody Reese, who couldn't be here tonight, and she has Homemade Harvest. So we've been looking into things. Something we didn't even know existed is the zoo has the older journalism school, and they have a whole the better definition of a magazine almost that they put out, like a bigger newspaper twice a year. One is tourism for the whole state, which we didn't know existed, and they also do a holiday one. So we're finding out that, and they have a website that they have their news on, because their kids put their website. So we're trying all these different things. We have a billboard on 54, and we can support there. We're going to do a new, they call them vinyl sport. We also are going to look into digital billboard. Don't get upset, it's not a digital billboard here. We're looking into buying some time on one St. Louis, so that we start saying, hey, we got contests coming, we got this coming. What kind of thing we got? We had done Hannibal Magazine, didn't really see a lot of change or that, so we said that doesn't work. Now we're doing Missouri Life. They are expensive. We also want to look at potentially doing another billboard on the Illinois side. So when people are coming through, they get the hey, turn down this way. So you have the budget. And here right now, our checking balance is $25,984. We're proposing moving 80 of that over to our current year expenditure. And then the rack text, when I say quarter 3, 4, and 1, that's the third quarter, fourth quarter, and then first quarter. Because we made this budget to coincide with the city budget. And then supplies 120, we may not use that, but we wanted it be for things outside help. We have done some collecting of things, information. It was quite labor intensive. Jody did last year for it. Our website is our only official number, and that's $550. Everything else is at our discretion. So advertising, one of the new things we want to do is we have Gambino's, we have the new business that's forming over here, and then Kate's Attic is now in Third Street. I think in Kate's. What we want to do is do a big blast out on Facebook for somebody when the business opens,
And then, get them on the radio with a little interview. Okay, this is people about what they have or carry. So we're trying to look at things like that. Of course, Color Fest, the outdoor media. A billboard runs almost $4,000. And then you have to get the vinyl to put on it, and that's another 90, I believe. Christmas house tour, they come in, at Christmas time, usually goes. The Miss Missouri Outdoor that Brian was working on, Christmas parade. Those mostly are push outs either with Facebook or if we're doing, Miss Missouri Outdoor, we want to do on, the Mizzou, because there's on their media.
It's their
I've been working with everybody kind of connected,
but their website newsletter. There's about 3 newsletters a day, and you can buy the integrated through spot, and it was really cool. So we're gonna test that period out.
see how that works, because there are young people and it doesn't just go to the food, it goes out. So, Christmas parade print advertising is things like, like County does one, and then, the state should cost them. Again, Columbia's magazine for their big tours we put there. Those are the kind of things there, newspaper ads, brochures. We want to work on one that we talked about this specific to our town. And we want to really put our list of them. Got a lot of people coming in and we want to get a little bit more. So in the meantime, county tourism has come up with a very nice one that they're going to do, and they're putting it in 64 visitor centers throughout the state. And so we have put some money to them to then get them back and be able to use them here for what we want. County visitors guide, and then photography, and then we would continue to do these other things for. So in the end, if that'd be 34,000, that is not either definite for sure, and we would always say, of course, has the money is there, we're not spinning the head. And so that would leave a balance in our checking account, 3,404, which is less, is more actually than 1 quarter. Now, the last 2 quarters too, we have not had arcade in there. They have not had any. There's a new B&B, I don't remember the name, Airbnb, which was Dr. Pittman's house. I don't think you know that, lady. And do you remember the name of the B&B? But she's renting the whole house out. And then of course, the Eagles house. So those weren't in our average for 3,100. So there should be more funds than what we are, but we're trying to be conservative and budget accordingly. So any questions on things?
Council, any questions? Do you know what was approved within our budget, our current budget? Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, I have it in front of me, it's approximately 13,750 has already been approved in our budget, right? So, couple of questions that I had. I mean, the budget is exactly that, it's a budget, it's not, you know, there's nothing steadfast on any of that. With the transition over from the LVCD over to the tourism, there's going to be a few speed bumps, figuring things out and getting things leveled out. Two things that jump out to me is the outdoor media expense and the print advertising. So those are your 2 largest items. And I know as far as for the outdoor media, for that total expense, when are you looking at pushing that?
Well, it would, one, the outdoor, you would like to add that extra billboard in Illinois. I don't see that happening probably till springish, maybe. Then the digital billboard, it's expensive, so we're trying to make different options, and we're trying to look at what one. The one that is in here, is $1,450 every 4 weeks. 6-month contract. Let's see if I have this, it's the number of times it floats around, and we have not had a time to sit, really go around on that. Haley, do you remember any of that? Because we all take a section and what.
It was it's the digital billboard we were looking at, was located on Highway 61, north of Winsville, on the left side if you were traveling north. Next to the World Outdoor Emporium, just north of Winsville. I'm not sure the amount of time the flashes per hour, I believe it's. Yeah, that's not how I believe it was 60 showings per hour for a total of 1,440 showings per day.
So the reason I'm asking is, if there's anything in what you presented in the budget, what you presented us, anything time sensitive. Because here's my thought process on this, not of your own, but we've already approved 13,500, and if the budget goes over, it goes over, we know we got reserves, right? But for the council to take action, we usually do a mid-year budget review over everything, and we make adjustments if necessary. So the only reason I'm asking is because, especially now you said a word that kind of stuck in my head, a contract, a 6-month contract. And to enter into a contract with the city, that has to go before the council and authorize the administrator to enter into that contract. So that's something that the board can't do. I know that'll used to be able to do that, but with our procurement requirements that we have to run it through here and pass them. So, we know the reserves are there. And you got it clearly documented. I'm just wondering if there's anything that's time sensitive with money lines that would require an adjustment before the mid-year budget.
But this was very popular budget line item is immediate. I need to get that done as soon as possible because we only have 1 month until that pageant is run, so we need to get the advertisement run.
You already got a budget of $13,500.
But.
So that's the one line item, right?
Because our budget was passed, not by line item, but by total amount for the tourism board, so. So that's what I'm saying is the funding is there. It's already in there. It may not be broken down like you have it broken down here. But there is $13,500 budget.
I believe we've already used five. I didn't even think that would be a question. I apologize. I didn't bring the detail on that. We've already used before when we started everything was. We had our contract was like 2,900.
Something on there.
The billboard out here. So we've already spent, do you remember when we were talking the other day? I was thinking I spent like 5,000. It's 265 was the last. I didn't bring in what we already spent on the billboard. I remember.
Now, this was done before the tourism commission, right?
No, you guys approved the old budget as us being LBCG, but now since we're in tourism commission, I guess us as a board, we're just making sure we want to be covered as this budget as the tourism commission and not as LBCG. That's where we're concerned.
What would the tourism commission exchange over?
I think we did everything in June with the tourism commission, but here's my point. I'm trying to make it simple is the funding's there. And if you go over budget, the funding is still there. We just make the adjustment in January. When it's there. And you mentioned a couple of amounts, $3,000, $5,000. whenever we go through anything more than $3,000 or $5,000 now, and there's a procurement process that we gotta go through. Comparative bids, and I know there's not much of a comparative bids for advertising and signings and stuff, but we just gotta hit those benchmarks. What I'm saying is keep on moving forward as you have been. And if you hit any of those thresholds of contract or anything over $3,000, just come to the council and say, hey, we need to do this.
But I think we're already, because in this fiscal year, we've already spent 5,000. If we had 700 and, what's it on the grocery folders, and there was 9, so we've already used 56, I think, something, sorry.
So that would leave roughly,
So that's part of, that's what's in your budget, we've already used 13,700, we've already used 5,000.
so there's 8,900 roughly left.
But I would assume that that's restricted, excuse me, I'm the CPA, so I have to understand. So it's restricted funds.
We're not spending it.
No, I understand that, no, that's not what I'm saying. But it shouldn't make any difference if you even follow to your P and L, because it moves from the restricted funds, whatever you spend, the restricted funds go over and match the income, and it's gonna end from 0.
Right.
So I don't understand why the budget can't be approved and what it is, and there being adjustment.
There's about 3 different ways you can skin this, right? And I think
Not by gas, you can't, by general accepted standards, you can't do that.
okay, so, okay. Anyone else got any questions or?
I didn't understand why, when the money's sitting in restricted, then whatever's used, that moves over, if it's sitting on the balance sheet, that money comes out of, say, that drawer and moves over to the income statement for revenue that matches the expense.
The general practice is we create the budget at the beginning of the year and then we do a mid-year budget. You're asking for a budget change right now, when we can wait 2 months, and even if you go over budget, it's all right, because the mid-year we're gonna balance it
So
back
we
out.
can spend how we want.
Well, if you go through the current processes that we have, yeah.
Well, a lot of it's smaller, it's a,
Yeah.
we're talking here, a small amount.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing tying your hands on this.
Okay, so that's good. I think one of the questions, so threshold for, we could get competitive bills is 5,000? That what you?
Yeah, so we'll be 100% sure we'll get you that policy, so you'll have something right.
Right, so we want to go along.
Because I don't wanna state something that would be wrong, we'll get it to you in writing. But it's roughly what we're in, what's in the recycling.
So anything over $300, you need 3 competitive bids.
300.
Yeah. Anything over $300, you need 3 competitive bids. Anything over 5,000, you go for 4,000.
Over 300 dollars?
Competitive bids, in other words,
A phone call.
yeah,
It's not 3,000, you're saying 300.
300.
So.
300.
So, you know, like the city, we want to pay now, and. Which one is it, changes to it for some. Being, you know, adding the newspaper, sometimes it's 300, so if we wanted to put one in our local paper. Then we need to go on the other papers,
That's a wash.
okay,
But if you want a burger and it costs $300 or $499, $4,999, I need something from Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Hardee's, wherever.
okay, so that's $5,000.
No, anything from 300 to 4,999. Anything over,
We'll get it to you in writing.
anything over 5,000 has to go before the board.
Okay, I'm just.
Well, you know, there are some things that are single source. And we can show that, but if it's not single source, we have to get comparative bids.
But that could be just as simple as making a phone call and they go blah, 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 and you write it down and I'm just looking at for the first one, because starting on your competitive one, you're moving forward anyway, so.
Even tonight with the guns, we had 3 competitive bids that came before them. And so then I-
Here's a good example when I do this to pay employees. That, the person does a rural visitors guide for Ward County. I think it was 2015, you're gonna have page F, so. We have to make phone calls, or we just say there's no competition.
Signal source. Yeah. It's not complicated, it's just, if you just having stuff printed, yeah, you need to get stuff from 3 different printers.
So then I need, this is a specific one. We have told, and voted on it last time that Pike County is doing these brochures. And we're putting in 4,000, or no, 1,400.
So that's under the 3, that's under the 5,000 threshold.
But how do we do 350? So go to 300. So what do we have to do to,
It is a single source.
we are giving the money to them and they are taking care of.
If it's single source.
Oh.
As long as you got, as long as the board takes a vote on it, there.
Well, we have to, ask the money to do that. It's where-
Thank you. Anything else for economic development and tourism? Housing, health, senior services and disadvantage.
I don't know.
Okay. Enterprise, public utilities. Brian, you here to take over?
All right, so the council approved the east side tank, before I, came on board. They started, in July, they have completed their work. And, DNR got to not inspect it, but view it, and they were pretty happy with, the reports. We even got a letter in the mail today that's saying that they have done a lot to, comply with the, inspection from 2019, and they were pretty thrilled with it. All of our, Richie, Clinton, and Ryan Green have viewed it, and they were pretty pleased with it. The only thing that, is an issue is calibrating or recalibrating the depth of the, water sensor, which was not part of the contract, and we're working on that now. But it looks nice, and DNR seems to be pleased with it.
So I don't know if everyone's seen that report, but they included.
We just got to that.
Included a ladder into that.
Correct. And the only thing is, we went over, and you all voted for the specialized vent. The vent that we had was, allowing critters and that kind of stuff, and there was many skeletons of, rodents and birds that have gotten into it. But the vent that they have now allows the tank to breathe, but it also keeps out critters from getting into our drinking water. The next one on the list is the well. We have a well valve that they took the top off. I sent everyone pictures. We have one bid that was presented to you last time. I thought the bid was high. Now you have it in your packet. It's from Sparks Maintenance and Contracting. I have reached out to 8 other entities, and we thought we might have a second bid, but they decided not to put a bid out for replacing the concrete and the grading that goes over the top of the well. This well. And so this is the bill that we, the bid that we have. I thought it was a little high. Richard told me, he goes, well, I thought it was gonna be double that, but I thought it was high. I can't get anybody else to bid on it, so hopefully this will go for the next full item if you all see fit to vote on it.
So I mean, I'd recommend it to the council, this would be this one. This isn't the actual, well valve replacement, this is actually the grading. The grading
Over the top of it.
So I would recommend letting it bring up, so, desire to. Bring it up to special council, meeting under that.
The next item, you know, the next item,
We're gonna go, the next item is actually the well valve.
oh, the well valve replacement, yes, and that is, I went out. The well valve, it is over the limit that I'm allowed, it is busted, must be replaced, and, it's one of those, I have to have it, and we are here voting, so please vote for it.
And I'd also recommend that Penny bring that for special counsel for action. We're gonna do one right now, this is just for one. Just one repair, they're saying that they're projecting or the other pump may be similar. But this is only for one.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that, those two things? Okay.
The next one is the jetback, and we've been looking for jetback trucks for 3 months now. We finally found one that meets our need. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's what they think is just right. We looked at the pricing, it only have 45,000 miles on the equipment. The Clinton and Ryan and Drew checked it out. They really like it. They used it on a demonstration. The price is listed in the back at $111,873.53. If you look at all the other ones, this is a cheap compared to what other ones have costed. I did go to the bank and we did possible numbers. We have a line item for 30 and we have another line item for 20 for large equipment. If you put 35,000 down on a lease purchase agreement, that will give us a balance of 76. We have enough money to pay for it, but it will take away our reserves in case an emergency happens. So there's a listing for a 10-year or 5-year annual payments. And that's listed on the sheet on the top. When I talk to then Logan at the bank.
So the council will look on page 6, you'll see the breakdown on the price. The unit price is $141,044.88. Because we are a Sourcewell member, means that this don't have to go out for bids. This is through a government type of agency that we are members of. We get roughly a 3% discount. And the total is $136,873. And then the trade-in is our current jetter, which is on a trailer, right? And the jetter, if you don't know what a jetter is, it's what they push down the sewer pipes and high pressure sewer lines to clean them out. Pressurize it, right? With that balance, with the trade-in, the balance being $111,873. And then of course, like Brian said, 35,000 down on this would mean that we finance the difference of 76,874. Now, with this being said, to my knowledge, the city of Louisiana has never had owned a back truck. Now, I don't know if you know what a back truck is, but it allows us to do a lot of things with it, as far as excavating holes, clean out storm drains. I mean, we actually know how it goes with gravel and rock and debris. Clean it out, you cut, you know, it can be utilized for the city to its benefit, so. The big question is for the council, I mean, I recommend moving forward and drafting a lease purchase agreement and authorizing the city administrator to enter into that contract. And the question would be for the council, whether we do it for a 10-year agreement or a 5-year agreement with the bank. And you can see the difference, whether an annual payment would be $11,782 for 10 years or $19,573 for 5 years. Not withholding that early payoff can be done at any time without any penalty.
It'd be simple interest.
So if there's any questions, I would recommend council bring this up under special. Council. Any questions? All right, application permit.
We're required to do a application permit with the Department of Natural Resources. They suggest that we get our application turned in at least 6 months ahead of time. 6 months ahead of time is September 15th, but we turned it in before September 1st came around. I want to thank Richie for getting that application done well before the 6 months period, and it's completed, and now we're just waiting for a response. That's all I have to say on that.
Any questions? All right.
DC Septic, Mayor. You approved to enter into contract with Meridian and a local vendor that does our septic tank on the riverfront, which is Ted Brown, and he also does the boathouse. Those are the ones that you've already approved. The council said that any other vendors that would like to have a contract needs approval from the council, and I have Dave Carlston here to talk to you all about doing such contracts. So welcome for your.
Yeah, my name's Dave Carlton, like you said, from Bowling Green. I started a septic business in 2009, and I sold the business, it was All American, sold it about 3 years ago, and I'm looking to get back in it, doing the septic business again, so I'm just here looking to get your approval for that.
So this would not be affiliated at all with All American or whoever bought it?
No, like I said, I sold that 3 years ago, and I have not been affiliated with them in any way for 3 years.
Because I know we've had an issue, we had concerns with All American with the new owners.
Yeah. And
Who were they out of St. Peter's or something?
Troy, I believe, Troy. Yeah, I used you guys for years before that, and as far as I know, there were never any issues with me. I don't know what they did exactly, but,
So how big of an area do you cover that would be being drawn in?
mostly I Lincoln County most of the time. Occasionally I sneak out into Warren or St. Charles County, but mostly it's back in Lincoln County area.
Have the city administrator advise you what the
Literal-
restrictions and
Yeah.
rules are,
Yeah, he sent me an email, and I'm on over there also.
and no issues with that?
No.
Any questions?
With new contract for the house good.
So this is, I sent him the guidelines, that I sent the guidelines that the council came up for the contract to be drafted to our attorney. And our attorney is in the process of drafting that contract for, Ted Brown, our local person, our local vendor, and Meridian, that you all have already approved. The council gave me directions that if there was anybody else, it had to be a case-by-case approval by the council. And Dave Charleston reached out to me and asked to have the same opportunity. I emailed him the list of the contract requirements that are going to be required in Meridian and Ted Brown. And I told him he had to come before a vetting process in front of you all. So that's what he's doing now. The question is, do you want to move that to special, or do you have any other questions?
You want to encourage one bring it to the special counsel for action? And we'll entertain it in the special. I'd recommend entertaining it in special so we can actually take a vote. If there's no objections. Community and employee, is there any other questions in enterprise public utilities? Hearing none, community and employee relations. Nothing got?
Not this time.
All right, work session is over, and let's take a 5-minute recess and we'll right into our public.
Well done. Yeah. Getting good.
One thing that they mark out.
Good, how are you doing?
Good. All right. This down right there. Well, yeah, I'm gonna stir shit too. You're older. 2 years. I got a question on timing. Part of the reason your kids came like this. We've gone through all that stuff.
Nobody really.
As they want to improve, huh?
And how do you?
If you. Mine gets long, feels like Velcro. Mine. The balls what I had to mesh. I went fishing, I was having the same vision. The angle of the polka dot sunburn off my head, you talk about something hurt. See, both, see some even see while in that back. Change much? Yeah, we had to get. 54. They all have their. It's been my experience. I noticed. I get the needle on the head, I kind of. You come home the other day, you borrow my truck, that's what I do. I look at you. I'm listening to them.
Yeah.
All right, I'll call this meeting to order, special council meeting on Monday, September 11th, 2023, 7:07. PM, following the work study session. City clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilman Dodd,
Yeah.
Councilman Price,
Here.
Councilman Baker.
Here.
Councilwoman Sherman,
Yeah, here.
Councilman Sedar.
Here.
Councilman Bell. Councilman Jordan,
Here.
Councilwoman Porter.
Here.
All right, well, everyone stand. Before we, say the pledge of allegiance, I ask that Councilman Sutter to lead us, but before so, I'd like to take a few moments to, in remembrance of September 11th, 2001. And Bill, as soon as you're ready, you can begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, as far as the agenda that's before you, I have a couple recommendations as far as the order of sequence. First order of sequence, we want to start off with under new business is actually, making an appointment and commission to, Dalen Green. As item one. And then also under new business, I'd like to add, grading, bid and well valve bid, and also the gun purchases. And then at the end of the agenda, I want to add for discussion and action, DC septic. And add sending two applicants to the police academy. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make the motion.
We have a first and a second, Councilman Sutter and Councilman Gordon. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes. Yeah. Opposed, like sign. Council, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Dalen Green. If you would step up and kind of give a little bit of intro of yourself.
Hello, I'm Dalen Green, I'm a hometown boy, I graduated here, I'm 27 years old. I've been a police officer for 2 years, I work on Buffalo Hills. Yeah.
What you want?
Doing that.
Like,
Yeah.
Council, any questions?
I have one. I know I had spoke with you at one point during Color Fest and asked, why did you not go ahead and come to Louisiana? And you said, we have a lot of influence here. Is there a reason why that changed? Did you want to work for part-time, even though you still, I'm sure, have those info here?
Honestly, I don't remember saying that.
All right. Well, entertain a motion to approve the appointment of
I make the
Mr. Green.
motion.
Motion and second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed, like sign. City clerk, would you please give the oath of office? What the chief wants to do it.
Please, Chief, go ahead.
I.
Aye.
State your name,
Dalen Green,
do solemnly swear
you solemnly swear.
that I possess
Yes.
all the qualifications for the office of police officer as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Louisiana, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God. Congratulations.
Council, before we get into. Before we get into these business, I don't know with all pictures of, what the Rotary Club has done as far as making improvements at Henderson Park, at, the weekend, making these improvements. And just for awareness and, notification, we'll be making at our next regular council meeting a proclamation. And I ask for the council support in declaring that proclamation, recognizing the Rotary Club for their efforts and for improving and maintaining and improving, Henderson Park. They really, did a wonderful job.
I've seen a lot of the pictures on Facebook, a lot of people doing it and have been doing it, and they did an amazing job on it.
All right, first item on the agenda is the lease purchase of the jetpack. We talked about it in the work study session, so are there any questions? There has to be, if we do move forward with this, there is a 10-year or a 5-year agreement that we need to decide what we want to do. We can do, no matter what we do, we can, it's simple interest, and we can always pay it off without penalty. So,
We make a motion that we pay the 35,000 down in 10 years.
I'll second that motion.
we have a first and a second for
Thank
the 10 years.
Even 10 years, because if something happens, we can always pay it back, but if we do the 11,000 versus the 5-year at 19, we won't be putting ourselves in bind.
5 years, open for discussion. Any other discussion? Hearing none, take the roll call, please.
Councilman Gott,
Yeah.
Councilman Price,
Yes.
Councilman Baker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman,
Yes.
Councilman Sudar,
Yes.
Councilman Bell, Councilman Jordan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Portis.
Yes.
When do we take the question?
As soon as we can get all the signatures and dotted lines and all that, it's so yesterday. Yeah. Next item on the agenda is the shaft sleeve pump for $5,384. Entertain a motion to make the purchase, to make the repair. Any discussion?
Do we know how long it can be for replace the other one? We got a while, to have one together.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's a kind of a backup, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that statement, but we can't shut it down now until we get the other one.
53 more than
Any other discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Opposed, like sign. All right, motion carries. The next item is the parks maintenance contracting for the grading and well covering. Entertain a motion to approve a bid for $10,650.
Well, I talked to Roger, and he said that grading was skyrocketed in price.
All right. Any other discussion? Any second? Let's, who made the motion?
Scott.
I said,
Scott and Price.
Okay.
Sudar, Price.
No other discussion. All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, like sign. Is there, there's not a third item, well valve, right? That's all part of the pump deal?
Correct.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Mid Rivers Asphalt. We went out for bid. I apologize, council, you don't have a total price on that. But this is the kind of, everything's kind of contingent with pricing being what it is. As far as if we was, to cherry pick any of this stuff that may affect other pricing. Doesn't mean that we cannot do that, but, Mid-Rivers Asphalt, but even if we approve it, in which, the weather's gonna be, the whole project will be contingent upon the weather conditions. So this project may be something that we're looking at spring to accomplish. Are there any questions on,
Number 6, Alec.
yes? So that is on the 600 block of Georgia Street between, Lindsay's, HVAC business and old, Leslie's Spring, where all the gravel washes down.
Yeah.
So,
But has anybody, have you ever seen anybody drive up and down there? How tight that is? You couldn't even get, you can't get anything in there.
right. So there's some easements in there that we have to maintain.
Okay.
We talked about as far as potentially blocking it off and building it up,
Okay.
but it would still be an issue,
Because you couldn't get a snow plow through there.
no, and we probably would. Yeah. But I know the issue with that alleyway's been, gravel coming onto George Street and the sidewalk. For years, ever since we've done that. But. Any other questions or? No? Entertain a motion to approve the bid. Like a motion to approve it. I'll second it. We have first and second. Any discussion? Take a roll call, please.
Councilman Gott,
Yeah.
Councilman Price. Councilman Baker,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman,
Yes.
Councilman Fedor,
Yes.
Councilman Bell, Councilman Jordan,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Portis,
Yes.
All right, the next item and is the purchase of firearms for the police department. As drafted out for the cost of $1,112. Entertain a motion to approve. You got a first and a second.
Fedor, Price, Fedor, and Price.
Do they have the firearms there now? They have to order them, but they said shouldn't take probably more than a week or so to get.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed, like sign. The tourism board, I have, an appointment to make for the Louisiana Tourism Board, Rita Vara. She is the co-owner of River's Edge Hotel.
What's your name?
Rena Vara, yes, Rena, Reena, Vahra. That's the majority of the bed tax comes from their establishment, and you don't have to put in that they have saved, house. So I entertain a motion to accept the appointment of Rena to the tourism board.
I make that motion to accept the Rena to the tourism board.
First and second. Any discussion? All those in favor, say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed, like sign. The budget for the tourism board, we talked about it in a work session. I don't see, there's no interest to, that's to be looked at in mid-year.
They were happy.
I've been trying to say that for the last week and a half. The historic committee, do have a recommendation for appointment. Christina Taylor, they are new to town. They, recently moved in from Omaha. Brian, where did they purchase?
Oh, White House.
The White House right there across from the church. Yes.
the White House and Louisiana.
Hey, White House, yeah, so,
I believe
how many do we have?
probably the third street, that's right.
Monster demolition.
Probably guys. talk about that. But anyway, she's very interested in.
Yeah.
So anyway, she does have she's her background, I did not have an opportunity to personally speak with her today. But she does have a background, historic structures and such, and one of the reasons why they moved from Omaha to Louisiana was for them. So this will round out the committee for the historic preservation committee. I'd entertain a motion to approve the approval. And then we got a first, second, any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed, like sign. And motion carries. Other items required by work session, entertain a motion to approve Charlie Smith and Jordan Henderson to enter into a contract with the city of Louisiana for attending the police academy. Second, you're good with both of them?
Yeah.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The last item I have is the DC septic, and had the gentleman, Mr. Charleston, to asking to enter into a contract with the city similar with what Kid Brown and Reading is, so I'll lay that open to the floor. Is there an interest to entertain a motion to approve entering into the contract?
How many different companies are we gonna have? Some people see it, getting people out here, and that's where we go for it. I know it brings us money in. But. It's all about the money.
And then how much you planning to bring in?
Right.
That's probably what we probably should have asked him when he was here. We looked at these three different counties, so not getting small now.
Can it be tabled, find out how much you're bringing in?
Yep.
We're nowhere about the capacity, correct?
Right.
Very low.
For 1/3 is what Richie told me.
Yeah, we don't have to take action. Cancel on. There's no interest in taking action tonight, we'll just, hey, what?
Does the council want me to bring him back in on the next meeting?
How about this, is there any other questions besides the volume that you want to ask me? 'Cause I hate to bring him back in if that's the only question.
Well, ask him also, if you wouldn't mind asking, is he gonna be just a one truck man, or is he gonna have a whole, regiment of trucks coming in and out of here, 4 or 5 a day? With different drivers and. If he's doing 3 different counties.
Any other questions? So we want to look at his volume, how much is he bringing in? Okay.
Why did he come here?
I think he lives in Bowling Green, and that's where his business is. Now, I know Bowling Green won't accept anything. Their system according to what I've been told is old and antiquated compared to ours, even though you might, that might be a question too. Why don't we just, so we have straight answers instead of just guessing, because I've been told by our operator that Bowling Green's not capable of taking it, and that doesn't answer as far as why. So let's try to figure that out. Any other questions you want to ask, DC. Perfect. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
We'll be doing the next one. Take this now.
Take your, just lay out here. That's.